get started. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Um, I just was telling the group that progress reports upload this Friday. Third 6 weeks grades upload today. And that's because of the problem with the breach. They're calling it a breach of the system. I was just speaking with one of the administrators on a Zoom call just before our class started, and she said that the internet is still pretty patchy at school. Some people in some offices have it, some people in some rooms don't. So I don't know what the timeline is on that, but we'll keep going wherever I am. We'll just keep going with class, right? We're going to start with group projects today. So based on your answers to last Wednesday's formative, I went ahead and made some groups, and I gave everybody either their first choice or their second choice on those 5 topics, because we're gonna have 5 groups. So everybody got either their first or second choice of group. And I want to talk about what we're going to do today, because I want you to start getting oriented into those groups. Those groups are going to last through the semester. And here's how it's going to work in general. Each group is going to produce a website with multiple pages. And each group member will be responsible for different pages on that website. So whatever content you decide within your group that you are going to research and produce, that will be a page in the website that your group is creating. And so the group will have a website, and then you will have a couple of web pages that you contributed content to. So I'll be grading you on that content that you created on that particular web page. So that's basically how it's going to work. And we're going to spend the semester working on that and doing scholarship type stuff. So that's our main goal for this term. I want to point you in the direction of assignment sheet for semester 2 projects. So this is like an overview of how the project is going to work. And in a minute, I'll put you into some groups so that you can get started on your brainstorming on what your website is going to look like. So here's a description of the task. I just kind of went over it. There will be 5 web pages, and we'll connect websites, and we'll connect them up to the main website when they're finished. And so it will have multiple pages in it and in each website. So if you have 5 people in your group, I'm going to want each person to do a minimum of 2 pages, 2 different subtopics of content. So say, for example, I'm in the networking group, and my group members and I talk about all the different topics that we could research based on networking, and I decide on 2 that I want to do, then I'm going to have 2 web pages in the site specifically for my content, whether I make a video or an infographic, whatever it is that I do, that will be on my page of the group website. So think of it like a virtual version of a group project where you would stand up in front of class and hold up posters or something like that. You know, you've got your part of the poster that you did, you've got your part of the poster, that kind of thing. Each group will assign or determine, or you guys can discuss today, which topics you're most interested in taking, because I want there to be different topics. So if you've got 5 people in your group, that should be 10 different topics on the different pages. Like, I don't want one person to do the same topic as another person, because that's, you know, sort of redundant. So you're going to have to discuss of all the subtopics that you could come up with. And we'll use the Padlet today that we worked with as a class to start generating some ideas on your topics. But you can kind of like select which ones you want to do, which ones are most interesting, and you can have a discussion in your groups about who wants to deal with which subtopics. And then each subtopic will produce 1 web page of content. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me pin this up here so that Ask me a question if that doesn't make sense, because it's all sort of virtual. I want to make sure that I have answers if you do have questions at this beginning stage. So we're going to be using a tool to make the websites called Google Sites. Maybe you have made a Google site before, or maybe you have not. It's pretty easy to do. It fits in with the Google Drive, so as people create content, it's not too hard to integrate Google items into, or YouTube or whatever, into the website. If you want, I can share with you, let me see if I can find it real fast. Right now, I have a website for my dual enrollment classes because STC doesn't start until tomorrow. So I've had this website and I used Sites to create it. Hello. I use Sites to create it. It's pretty easy. They have templates, and then they sort of have a drag and drop system that you can see over here. Let me move this guy up here. They have a drag and drop system where you can create pages and you can insert everything from text boxes to formatting, YouTube's, maps, anything that you might need, docs, slideshows, whatever. So as people create content, you can create more pages. For example, I made a page on this website. It doesn't have anything to do with our class, but it's an example of how Sites works. You can see I can easily put in links. And then I made a page for course details, which was sort of like a interim syllabus and adjustments. So I made separate pages. So I want you to use Sites because I think it's the easiest one, and also it's free, and also it jives with the Google Drive. So I want to talk to you about the structure for that a little bit. If I go back to, where is my, this one. So in your group, one of the things you'll have to decide is who's going to be the webmaster. I'm going to work with the webmasters specially to help them as they develop the websites, the look of it, helping them if they need technical help creating what they envision for the website. Obviously, the webmaster has to discuss with the group the look of it, you know, images, how do we want to structure it, that kind of thing. But the webmaster is responsible for getting that done. So if you're the webmaster in your group, I think it's allowable for you to have one less page of content required. Instead of the 2 minimum, you can just do 1 because you're responsible for setting up the whole website, taking the content from the group members, getting it uploaded to the pages. So in a way, one of your contributions of the 2 is actually, you know, constructing and organizing the website itself. So you can talk about that in your groups. I'm going to work, we'll have a couple of little webinars where I will help people who have never, if you're a webmaster and you've never done a website before, don't worry, I will help you through it. I've done many websites and many different platforms, so I will help you so that you can do everything that your group envisions. So if you're interested in doing that, maybe you've never done a website, but it would be cool to learn how before you go off to college, in case, you know, your projects in the future could include making a website. So I will show you how to do that. Obviously, you have to research information. This is not an opportunity for you to say what you think on these topics. If your group wants to put a page that's extra with your own tips or whatever, that's cool. But I want you to have your information supported with outside sources that are legitimate. You can do interviews with people. You can have videos of people that you ask questions and you're, you know, putting those in, but you are not the source. You're compiling the source into your content. So make sure that you have your sources, not just links. Some people did that on their projects. They just at the end put a page full of links, and that is not the way we do MLA. So maybe as we get closer to the end of the project, I'll make sure everybody's got their source information set up properly. In terms of grading, I'm going to meet with each group over the course of, the next couple of weeks to talk about the grading criteria and set up a rubric. So I'll express what I'm looking for in your website, and as a group, you can contribute and talk to me about the specifics of what you have in mind for your website, and we'll make a grading rubric together. Let me point out that even though you're working together in a group, your grade is dependent solely on your contribution to the website. So there is not going to be, per se, a group grade. And if your web page is superior, then it will get a superior grade, the page within your group's website. So this isn't going to happen because I know you all, but let's just say hypothetically that the webmaster sucked. There wasn't anything interesting on the website. It was a bare bones type thing, and your page is extraordinary. That is good. So you'll be graded on that page. Likewise, if you do very little, it's just sort of, minimal, then the grade will be dependent on what you do on your page. So make sure that you're aware that you're working with other people within a topic, but you're responsible for the content on your particular web page. Questions about that? No. You're like, just get to the groups, right? All right, so as I was saying, as people were coming in, I have used your formatives from last Wednesday to create the groups. I gave everybody either their first or second choice of group, of topic. So hopefully everybody's happy with that. I mean, remember that even if you're not part of a group, we'll still be learning from the other websites. So once they're all completed, there'll be an opportunity for you, or maybe it will be like our semester exam, to go in and do a little bit of reflection on other groups' work. And you'll be able to see. So if number one for you was living independently, but I put you in your second one, which was networking, you'll still have an opportunity to go and learn from the other websites. So those things will come up for you, it'll be available to you. So I don't want you to feel bad if you got your second choice. It's just the way that the requests panned out. So here's how, let me go to the groupings. So here are the groups. I put you in pretty evenly. All the groups have either 4 or 5 people in them, so that there's a decent amount of content per website. So in Living Independently, we've got Giovanna, Roxana, Carolina, Kaylee, and Giovanna. Oh, I put 2 Giovannas in the same group. Well, you can do G Giovanna and J Giovanna. You can remember the difference. Networking is going to be Paula, Eliane, Jennifer, and Sydney. Physical and emotional health will be Mona, Zeke, Laura, and Jordan. Handling academics will be Myrene, Lila, Cesar, Linda, and Ariana. And then first generation students will be Patricia, Marilyn, Nick, and Lizbeth. Is there anybody that I missed? I went through it and double checked. We do have a few people in class who do not show up or do formatives, and I did not include them in the groups, because then the groups start to count on, having an extra person, and if they're not showing up or doing anything, I don't want to burden a group with somebody who's not participating in class. So if those people show up, like if you know them and they want to start coming, that's cool, but I'll probably put them, into one of the groups of 4. Not based on their preferences, just based on the groups of 4. But for right now, I don't want a group to end up with some dead weight. Oh, that sounded ugly. I didn't mean it that way. I meant like a person that's not participating. That's what I meant. All right, questions? Can everybody see what group they're in? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put you into some breakout rooms with your group. Here's what I want for you to accomplish. It's here in the instructions. There's a planning sheet. So let me go through that. Only one of you needs to turn in the planning sheet from your group. So everybody who's in that group will contribute to that one sheet. I don't want to get 27 sheets. So the planning sheet looks like this. And today I want you to discuss who your webmaster is going to be. That is not the right, I updated that sheet. Okay, I updated this whole thing. Where? All right, I'm gonna have to fix that a little bit before you open it, so you can get in your groups and have a discussion before I fix that, but I updated that this morning a little bit. Anyway, you're gonna complete the group planning sheet, and also I've included here the link to the Padlet that we created last week as a class. So now that you know what group you're in, you can start to scroll through some of the ideas. You don't have to use these ideas, but it's a good starting spot. A lot of people had some really good suggestions, and you can see there's a lot of them. Maybe some of them overlap, but you could start by looking at those or talking about who you want to be your webmaster in the group once you get into your groups. And I'm going to fix that page. I'll let you know when the page is ready. Don't open it until it's ready because it won't update from there. I don't know what happened. Anyway, let me go ahead and do the groups. Any questions before I do that? Oh, it's been a while since I did groups. No questions? I don't see anything in the chat. I don't hear anybody unmuting. Are you tired because it's Monday morning? I know. I know. All right, I'm going to make the rooms so that you can be in with your groups. And then I'll work on that chart. All right, where's my little list here? You might have some people that are in your group, but they're not here today. That's okay. We can continue discussions. Mona, you're the only person in your group that's present today. Okay, head into your groups and start looking at the list of the from the Padlet. And I'll work on that document and share it with you all in just a few minutes. Lila.
Hi, Miss. Sorry I'm late. I was helping my dad outside.
That's okay. We went into groups because I set up groups for